Senate of Rome is now the Cardinals of Rome. It's JC, the ruler of our calendar, which we call Anno Domini, and most Christians think it's the other JC, Jesus Christ calendar. It's not. It's Julio calendar. And Anno Domini, the Lord, Domini, was his son, Augustus. He was the Lord. He was the son of God. They proclaimed him a god because he was so good to the popular people. He was a popular hero. Think about it. Francesco Carotta, an Italian writer, he's discovered that Jesus is Julius Caesar. Brutus betrayed Julius. Judas betrayed Jesus. Both died on the Ides of March. Both crossed the river. One the Rubicon, one the Jordan. Both were famous for having to do with a town called Capernaum. Both were popular heroes. The list goes on and on and on. And we still have the Anno Domini, the AD calendar. Well, who is this Lord? Well, it's JC. Julius Caesar, in one capacity, is Jesus Christ. That's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do.
Roman Catholicism controls everything, which means it must control all the secret societies, all the political organizations, the political parties, the institutes of learning, every single one of them. Because the Bible says that the whole world will pay homage to the beast out of the sea, not to Rockefeller or Rothschild or whatever. They're incidental little pawns in the game. They might play a big role, they might have a lot of money, but the money doesn't belong to them, it belongs to Rome. That's going to be the bottom line. The Bible says two players, beast out of the sea, beast out of the earth, and everything else must fit in. Russia, where do you fit in? You must fit in over there. China, hello, where do you fit in? Must fit in over there. Can be no one else. Those two. Those are the role players at the end of time. No one else.
Religion has failed you. And when you learn all that's going on in the world, even from the Catholic Church standpoint and all the other churches, you're going to be so heartbroken. You're going to be severely hurt. Brace yourself and know that this talk I'm giving you is to prep you. So when it comes, you don't fall flat on your face and say, me should have listened to Bojo and if me did know. We don't use those words anymore.
When we become rulers, we will not tolerate the existence of any other religion except our own, which proclaims one God, with whom our fate is bound up because we are the chosen people, and our fate has determined the fate of the world. For this reason, we must destroy all other religions. If the result of this produces modern atheists as a transitory step, this will not interfere with our plans, but will act as an example to those generations which will listen to our teaching of the religion of Moses, which, owing to its solid and thoughtful system, will eventually lead to the domination of all nations by us. We will also lay stress on the mystical truth of Masonic teaching, which we will assert is the foundation of its whole educative power. On every possible occasion, we will then publish articles in which we will compare our beneficial rule with that of the past. The benefits of peace, although attained through centuries of unrest, will serve to demonstrate the beneficial character of our rule. The mistakes made by the Goys during their administration will be pictured by us in the most vivid colors. We will cause such disgust toward the administration of the Goys that the masses will prefer the peace of serfdom to the rights of the much-lauded liberty which has so cruelly tortured them and drained from them the very source of human existence, and by which they were exploited by a mass of adventurers ignorant of what they were doing. The useless changes of government to which we ourselves prompted the Goys when we were undermining their governmental apparatus will become such a nuisance to the people by that time that they will prefer to endure anything from us rather than risk a repetition of former unrest and hardships. We will, moreover, lay particular stress on the historical mistakes made by the Goy governments, which caused humanity to suffer for many centuries for lack of understanding of all matters pertaining to its true welfare, and because of their search for fantastic schemes of social welfare. The Goys did not notice that such schemes, instead of improving mutual relationship, which is the basis of human existence, have only made it worse. The whole force of our principle and measures will lie in the fact that they are put forward and interpreted by us as being in sharp contrast to the decayed social order of former times. Our philosophers will discuss all the shortcomings of the Goya religion, but nobody will ever discuss our religion in the light of its true aspect, and nobody will ever thoroughly understand it except our own people, who will never dare to disclose its secrets. In countries so-called advanced, we have created insane, dirty, and disgusting literature. For a short time after our entrance into power, we will encourage its publication in order that the contrast between it and the speeches and programs which will be heard from our heights should be more pointedly marked. Our wise men, trained as guides to the Goyas, will prepare speeches, plans, memoranda, and articles by which we will influence the minds and direct them towards the conceptions and the knowledge which we wish them to have.
The Freemasonry movement has its origins and its roots in ancient Israel and in the Old Testament. A lot of the symbols which are used by the Freemasonry and a lot of the beliefs in the Freemasonry system comes out of the ancient scriptures, ancient Jewish scriptures. But the Jews have transformed the Freemasonry movement to be an international movement, not an exclusively Jewish movement, so that the link between Freemasonry and Judaism no longer exists today in the popular consciousness. So a Prime Minister of Australia can be a Freemason, and a Prime Minister of Britain who is not a Jew can be a Freemason. The reason why they've done that is so that they could use this movement as a front through which they could pursue their objectives without allowing themselves to be identified as the actor. So they can remain as the hidden actor behind the Freemasonry and the Illuminati.
So I'm sitting here in front of the Western Wall, which is just below the Temple Mount. And in the Bible it says that in the last days, the false prophet would set up something called the image of the beast up there on the Temple Mount. And it says that whoever does not bow down and worship the beast would be killed. Okay, and it says that this image of the beast would actually be given the ability to talk. It would be given the ability to speak. Well, so a lot of people say, is it possible that this image, it could be some type of a hologram, or it could be something related to AI? And look, guys, that is absolutely possible. Nothing would surprise me. But there's also another possible, really simple, much less mundane explanation. So really next to every mosque, you've got a minaret, right? Or multiple minarets. And at the top of the minarets are speakers. In other words, these things are given a mouth to speak. And at the top of the minarets are the crescent moons, also called the Helal in Arabic, which is, by the way, very similar to in Isaiah 14, where it says Helal ben Sahar, which is translated in the King James as Lucifer. So could it be AI? Could it be some hologram? Maybe. Or maybe it's something much more simple, so that when the call goes out for those who do not bow down and worship the beast, they would be killed. That's something to think about. So, guys, we need to be careful. But that said, time will tell, and it might even be a lot sooner than we think.
Called the Philosopher's Stone is said to be that which translates base elements into gold. This is deemed to be the case in the higher metallurgical sense and also in the spiritual sense of enlightenment, moving the mundane person into a higher state of being, transferring his lead into gold. So, the rule was, to make gold, you must take gold. There are two distinctly different forms of gold. There is the straightforward metal that we know, gold, we all know what that looks like, but there is also a higher state of gold, a gold that is in a different dimension of perceived matter, the white powder of gold that suddenly doesn't look like metal anymore. It's the hidden manner. It's become hidden because it doesn't look like what it is. It's still gold, and its secret was known by the master craftsman. In the alchemical document called the Rosarium Philosophorum, the hidden stone was described in terms of geometry. Make a round circle of the man and the woman, draw out of this a square, out of the square a triangle, make a round circle, you will have the stone of the philosophers. We all recognize that as Vitruvian Man, the drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, the square, the man. They say this is the philosopher's stone. It's not the philosopher's stone, but geometrically this is a representation. I tried to find out from numerous people exactly what the philosopher's stone represented. Was it really a stone? Was the stone a symbol for something?